They're killing Miss Marvel off in the comics, and I think this is going to have major consequences in X-Men. Polaris in the comic books recently is depicted with her coffee. Like, what is your ideal morning coffee situation?
When I do drink coffee, it's a black coffee hot with one Splenda. And I believe that's also what Lorna would drink in real life.
A Daddy Cable.
Daddy Cable. I would love that. I would love it.
Shout out to the Powers of X-Men podcast.
I have writers at Marvel Comics right now.
The Pretender's death, like be.
Right, familia, Power of X-Men, we're with. Do you love Power of X-Men?
I love Power of X-Men. Of course I do. Do I? Yes, I do.
What's up, familia? Dayspring here to chat about the death of Miss Marvel in Amazing Spider-Man 26. Marvel just revealed, because there was leaking already, that she will be the character who dies in Amazing Spider-Man number 26. And I saw a lot of people online on Twitter upset about this. And it was curious to me because I was like, well, they're killing her off right before her major MCU movie. That tracks with Marvel. They did that with Doctor Strange. They did that with Wanda. They gave Steve Rogers and Star-Lord different mantles when their major MCU movies were coming out. So the fact that they're putting the spotlight on Kamala is a great thing. I am so happy they're investing in that character, in her as an IP, because I think she is one of the breakout stars from Marvel these last few years. There's no doubt she's a household name. People know who she is. They see a photo of her. They know she's a Marvel character. I love Kamala. I love that OG series. So well done. Now, the one thing I do have a qualm with is that at the end of her Disney Plus series, it is revealed that she is a mutant, or there's something in her that she has a gene that makes her a mutant, right? And they play the X-Men 97 X-Men animated series theme song. It's billed as X-Men 97 in the credits. But I thought that was such a missed opportunity for the Inhumans, right? Because there was so much hype for Black Bolt going into Multiverse of Madness and him having a comics accurate costume. Had they made Kamala an Inhuman at the end of the series, they would have revived the Inhumans IP. And we can talk about IVX, and we can talk about how the original creators, Jerry Conway and John Buscema, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but John Buscema, who was the artist for Miss Marvel, intended her to be a mutant originally, and because of what was going on with the film rights, they made her an Inhuman. That's fine. I understand that piece of history, but the fact of the matter is she started off as an Inhuman. She has a wonderful story, wonderful origin story in that solo series, that initial solo series. So I think kind of like backpedaling and making her the MCU's first official mutant is kind of like, you know what I mean? It's an honor that should have gone to Wanda and Pietro, right? And if later down the line, because the X-Men movies are so successful, you retcon it that Miss Marvel is a mutant, then great. You know, I get it. I mean, these IPs, I mean, that's what happened with Wanda and Pietro. They retconned them to not be mutants because they did not have the rights to the mutants at the time, because they were still with Fox and Disney had not done the Fox-Disney merger yet. So, you know, I think it was a missed opportunity for the Inhumans. I'm not that big of a fan of her being a mutant because I think her origin story in the comics is perfect. I love that series where she is in the Terrigen Mist gets her. She emerges from the cocoon as Carol Danvers. I thought it was so much fun. It was so unique. It was so different at the time. I loved how her powers worked in the comics. I wasn't vibing with her banglets with her bracelets in the series. So, you know, I'm kind of like, I'm kind of like, meh, like, why make her a mutant when she is so wonderful as an Inhuman? So they're killing her off in the comics now. And, you know, since the IP is now a mutant IP, I can't help but wonder, does this mean Familia? Does this mean that she's going to get resurrected by the Five or the Phoenix or whatever happens in Fall of X? We've talked about this before endlessly on this podcast. We do believe the Hellfire Gala is going to be a Red Wedding style massacre, right? I feel Resurrection is going to get off the table. So either before Fall of X, or there's going to be another way that they're going to be resurrecting, whether it's Jean as Phoenix, since we see that preview of her with white light with the Louise Simonson. We know the Phoenix is hovering around Jean. Marvel has made no secret about that. So however they're going to handle Resurrection in the Krakoan age going forward, is Miss Marvel going to be brought back because she is a mutant? It makes sense to me. I'm not, again, I like her as a human, and this is just pure speculation, but if the character is a mutant in the MCU and the MCU brings in like billions of dollars, then therefore in the comic books, you're going to make the character a mutant. That's just business 101. I don't like it. I don't think the MCU should dictate how the comic books are being handled, but it is the world we live in. That's just the way business is done. So I do think this death of Miss Marvel is going to be extremely temporary. I think she is going to come back on Krakoa. It's going to be revealed that she's a mutant. And I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, we've already seen them lay the groundwork for it. She had a Miss Marvel and Wolverine series like a year-ish ago. So they're already planting the seeds for her to have ties with the mutants. She was part of Dark Web, which was an X-Men and Spider-Man crossover. And I think this is their way of transitioning her here. I also think that classified series that came out in solicitations, that we don't know what it is, I think it's going to be a Miss Marvel series. So I think if you're going to bring Miss Marvel onto Krakoa as a mutant, I'm like, I'm afraid she's going to get lost in the shuffle. I think she stands out as being a champion. I think she stands out as a solo series. I think she is the character that can revive the Inhumans. You can have an Inhumans-led franchise with her at the helm. I think she could bring in new viewers or readers or whatever medium you decide to have her in. But I worry there's so many young X-Men already on the table that are not getting their dues that I'm like, don't throw another one in there, and don't strip what makes Kamala Khan so special. She has a great origin story. She's obsessed with Carol Danvers. She's been able to wander around the Marvel universe as a standalone hero. Don't throw her on Krakoa. Don't make her another young mutant that fades to the background or only has stories when one writer decides to pick up a thread on them. Anyways, folks, let me know your thoughts below. This is pure speculation. We just know the character is dying, and we just know that she's a mutant in the MCU. So whatever they're going to do in the future, but I highly doubt it, given how strong the IP is. And I know everyone has their feels about Miss Marvel, the television show, how it didn't really get the most views. It's like the least watched Marvel TV series ever. It doesn't matter. She is an iconic character in the Marvel universe. People know who she is. She has a strong IP. The fact that she has a death story coming up tells you that Marvel's investing in her because they want that media hype for her going into the Marvels. So let me know your thoughts. Do you think she should stay an Inhuman? Do you think she should be resurrected as a mutant? Do you think she works as a mutant in the MCU? Let me know your thoughts, and we'll catch you later.